I guess it would help if I actually put everybody on the stage, right? Gosh darn it. This is what happens when I try to do Derek's
It
job.
certainly would, Paul. Yeah.
Let
This is
me
why
just
you have me.
This is why we have you. And I'm me. I don't need to be you. You need to be you and let me be me.
Wait. Let me do your job. It's the Wednesday wrap-up show.
That
Good one.
you gotta throw a little bit more bass in your voice when you do that. But yeah, that was pretty good actually.
Good one.
All right.
Rich should be the one doing it with his baritone voice. It's the
No,
Wednesday
Wednesday
wrap
to
up.
everybody.
He'd be doing it like Isaac Hayes, like or Barry White. It's the Wednesday wrap up show. But then people would be like, it's the Quiet Storm type show.
Wednesday wrap up show.
All of a sudden, women all over the world would just get pregnant because of that.
No, it's kind of hard to explain to the wife what's going on. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. How you fellas doing, man? Derek, you've been traveling the world. Welcome back.
More traveling. Yep.
Thanks for not disappearing on one of your missions. Oh, I mean jobs.
I've got more travel, so it's more
you
coming.
Got some more people to take care of.
Hey, you know what? I mean, truth be told, shout out to Herschel. Herschel done more lives in the last week than all three of us in the last month. y'all left the keys to the Corvette, and dude been just driving it everywhere.
Yeah.
He doing shows with people he don't even introduce.
I caught the end of the show he did last night. Did he make did he make him a black comic lord?
I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Hey, shout out to Andre Batts, who joined Herschel last night. That was a dope interview. For those who don't know, Andre Batts is the creator of Dreadlocks.
I was waiting for him to put the website on the video, so I had to Google it. Ordered some books last night from Andre Batts.
Yep.
Looking forward to get those.
I need to get me a. He got a nice catalog. I
need to get a Dreadlocks #1, but it's
Good
like 100.
That.
You can get it. You just gonna have to pay for it.
There's one on eBay right now, $150.
150.
I think you know who the person is that's selling it to.
Who's selling it? Is it you?
You can no, but you can take a guess. You can look at the other things they have for sale, and you can guess who it is.
Is it Rico?
No, I don't think it's Rico.
Probably Stephen Bowers.
Oh,
probably Stephen. If I had to guess, right off.
So what's up? Anyway. What's up to everybody in the chat? Who are the people in the chat, man?
Right.
Who's in
the chat?
Going on.
AJ, what's up, man?
Ready for some Ironheart talk? Got Mr. Pericles.
Dragon Balls.
And then we've got Bird's Niche.
That's my dude.
Brother man. Telling us our intro is not long enough. Let's see. No, not 007.
Nah, man. He's more like Idris Elba, Double Black.
I'm 00 negative.
00 negative.
Wow.
Yeah. Marwan, what's up? Smooth Approach, what's up? And James Staten.
So James,
doing? Okay, Black Dynamite, maybe.
I'm not even gonna touch that. Y'all think the comic hood will become Hispanic to match the MCU hood? That's a good eclectic. I love this dude's questions, man.
He's got two other ones on here too. So
one of the things I always talk about is the fact, or I've been talking about at least for the last 3-4 years, is that Marvel Comics is no longer the source material for the MCU. It's the promo material for the MCU. And so inevitably, whatever happens in the MCU, they'll try to some way make it happen in the comics. If somebody turns black in the MCU, all of a sudden they become black in the comics. You know, just take a look at the Eternals. So yeah, there's a strong possibility. Strong possibility.
It is what it is.
So we're gonna talk about Ironheart, right?
Shout out to. First of all, let me just say this. Everybody and their mama been asking for this trailer. The trailer dropped.
Hold on, Rich. People are asking questions about Derek's background. We're not allowed to talk about Derek's background. You'll never get him talking about his background. All I can tell you is that he keeps dropping into various countries around the world where there are, warning signs. Please don't go to this. They're like travel warnings for the countries this guy's always going to. And inevitably, whenever he leaves, all of a sudden, bad things are happening in the country. Watching on CNN, like this country just, and then it's like, oh, weren't you there 2 weeks ago, Derek? He's like, maybe. I don't know what this guy does for a living, but you ask him, he's like, I just solve problems. I don't know what that means.
He's a fixer. He's a fixer.
He's a fixer. He's a fixer.
That's a good way to put it.
Marwan, what's good with you? Thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, Marwan. We appreciate that.
My man, 100 grand. Thank you, bro.
Yes.
Asked Willie Jackson. Marvel should be ashamed of themselves from dropping that weak ass trailer.
They dropped it intentionally a few hours before the Superman trailer dropped too.
Let's get into it. Let's get.
So let me just say this. That was not a new trailer. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That was the old trailer. Derek, please tell me, Derek, that you got the Denzel Washington clip.
Okay, hold on.
You got the clip.
I was not prepared. Let me get better prepared here.
I see Derek's got new clips.
Oh, I say it again. You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on social media. Let me just say this. I got to say this, Paul, before we get into this. A lot of y'all had a lot of energy for Marvel over this trailer. And people was on Instagram, they were on Threads, they were on YouTube, they were in our space. Where's the trailer? How dare they disrespect? So Marvel said, hey, we got a new trailer. Now, boss. Hey, we need a new trailer. We ain't got nothing. What we gonna do? I know. Just play the old one.
Just re-chop it up.
Y'all literally got a old trailer remixed. Y'all got the Diddy mix. Y'all got the Diddy.
Take that.
Y'all got Play Like a Piano. And I mean, you know what? Let me tell you something. Comic book fan and MCU fan are truly two different animals. Because the MCU fans, no, they had all the smoke. They had all the smoke from Marvel. They dropped this trailer. I ain't heard of it. It's like crickets. It's like crickets, bro. This trailer. Oh, bruh. So, and then they released and say, hey, they had to do something, Paul. They looked at it and was like, damn, we got to get him the first 3 episodes. They go watch us.
So the trailer starts out with her going into a building. And it's like what's the name of that horror movie where the person's locked up and they're like, you have 3 minutes to get out of this box or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
What's the name of that movie?
Saw,
yeah. So you're like, damn, I thought this is the Ironheart.
Saw 29.
You're checking the title like, is this Ironheart? Like, this is like Saw, the sequel.
I want to play a game.
You want to play? I'm waiting for the little dude with the red and white mask. You have 2 minutes to get out. And she's like, damn, I don't see any. So she's about to build a suit, right? She's about to have a suit and get out. No, she's not. All right.
Yeah.
My best thing for this is I was underwhelmed. Like, I did not have a wow factor that made me or the inspiration be like, get me excited. You see a couple splashes of her in the suit. The suit doesn't make me excited because it's not even a suit she has in the comics.
Yeah.
Why is it the MCU has always been very good about showing Tony Stark in these accurate suits? Iron Man and Spider-Man in an accurate suit, Captain America in an accurate suit, T'Challa in an accurate suit. Why is Riri wearing this suit that nobody cares about?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. They took, you know what they did? That was an all white suit. They just went and got the Vision. They went and got the big shoulders. Vision jacket.
Why does she have to have the big shoulders? Like, Riri's suits have traditionally been very feminine, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Well, she's just getting started now. You gotta let her.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The trailer's supposed to make you excited, and if this is one of those things where she doesn't get her real suit until like the 4th act, when she gets her butt beat and she's got to rebuild the suit and make it look like the pink and yellow suit that she's known for.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, put that in the trailer. People are aware of the character from comics. At least some fans are aware of the character from comics. That's what they're expecting to see. Make me excited to see that suit in comics. No one says, let me hide the suit of the superhero character until the last scene. Nobody does that. There's never.
I got a question. My question is, how many episodes is this going to be?
I don't know.
It's gonna be 6 episodes, I think I read.
So they literally dropping half the show on the first day. Wow.
What's up, Kevin Pitts?
Well, they did that with what else did Disney just drop recently? They did that with Andor, right?
Daredevil, you got the first 2 episodes of Daredevil.
Andor, I think they give you the first 3 episodes the first time.
Andor, I think they did the first 2 with Andor. But either way, let's just call this what this is, and look to all of y'all out, to all you Riri Williams fans. I need y'all to know, first of all, number one, I'm not a hater. That's number one. Number 2, y'all need the truth, and the truth is, this is not gonna hit. If I have to go by the trailer, and what they showed us or whatever, like I said, this was a rehashed trailer. That trailer was very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Very underwhelming. I went away with it, was just like, okay. I wasn't like, let's go. I wasn't excited. I mean, and again, I know there are going to be eyes on this just because this is a Black woman superhero led show. So there are going to be some people in their fields all about it. I get it. I understand it. But what I will not do, is act like this is the bomb.com. This could be a good show, could be, but from what I saw, That wasn't it, Marvel. That was not it. You did not do the Marvel fan base any favors, or the Riri Williams fan base, MCU or comic book fan base, no favors with this. Now, I will say, I'm not even sure what kind of story they're going to tell. That's the biggest thing. I don't know what direction this is going. You know, you got a professor saying, "Oh, you're not the only genius in MIT," that kind of thing. So I don't know if I'm getting a hero's journey story. I don't know if she's going to have a quote unquote real villain, or the dude's going to be an anti-villain. I did see her make it rain. They was throwing cash in the air. I saw that. So I don't know to be. I don't know, Paul. I just got stereotype feels.
Yeah, man. Here's why I'm upset about this, because I am genuinely a Riri Williams fan. Like, I was collecting Iron Man back because I was an Iron Man fan for a very long time, or not say was, but I've been an Iron Man fan since the 80s. And I was collecting Invincible Iron Man when Riri was introduced. So I got her run at cover price when it first came out because I was already collecting Iron Man. Some of the first trade paperbacks I got my daughter was Ironheart by Eve Ewing. She's familiar with that character. Yep. I told her recently the trailer was dropping for Ironheart. She's like, "Really? That's going to be a TV series, Daddy?" It's like, "Yeah." "Oh, we got to watch that together. Can we watch it together?" I was like, "Of course." That's what I live for. When your kid says, "Hey, can we watch this Marvel thing together?" Because I'm excited because it's a little black girl who's into science and she builds her suit and becomes a superhero.
Right.
I mean, that's the reason I gave her the book in the first place, because it's a great role model for her, right? There's not that many properties for my 13-year-old girl to go saying that's somebody who's like me on the screen. It's so rare. It's so rare.
It is.
This was a tremendous opportunity, and they missed the boat, man. I haven't shown her the trailer yet, but she's gonna look at this trailer and look at her trade paperback and look at her trailer and look at the trade paperback and like, "Are you sure that's Ironheart?"
Yeah, they. I mean, again, I'm not sure what the story is. I'm gonna watch it like everybody else. I don't want to just trash the trailer, or whatever. But this trailer was not good. It was not good at all. And like I said, it was more of a rehash. There was nothing really new in this trailer. But we'll see what happens with this. This is the show that they're closing out. Now, technically, Thunderbolts is what's supposed to close out Phase 5. And Phase 6 is supposed to start in a few more months with the Fantastic Four.
Well, technically, Ironheart would be part of Phase 5 because it was filmed 2 years ago.
Exactly. It's a part of Phase 5. It is literally like...
It might be part of Phase 4, to be honest with you.
Talk about being late to the party. I mean, I need people to understand that this... Shout out to everybody that's watching. Please like, share, subscribe. But look, this show was done. Now, I don't know what the CGI is going to be like for this show. It better be good, because this show was done filming before Wakanda Forever came out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let me say that again, or like my man Herschel like to say, let that sink in. This show was done filming before Wakanda Forever came out. So y'all figure it out.
I mean, the idea that this film was filmed, this series was filmed over 2 years ago. That gave you more than enough time to get it right. That gave you more than enough time to upgrade the CGI. That gave you more than enough time 3 years ago. That's even worse. That gave you more than enough time to put together an epic trailer that would get the fans excited to see this film. Like, oh my gosh, this girl should be inspiring me to like that whole segment. What I just said, they should have done a trailer. It should have inspired little girls everywhere to say, oh my gosh, a superhero. There's a lot of girls that grew up seeing Tony Stark as Iron Man.
Mhm.
You know, there's a whole generation of girls and be like, who I'm sure thought in their heads, I wish that was me. I wish I could be Iron Man. And here's an opportunity for them to see a similar character that they could have been inspired to go see. I mean, when they did the trailer for Captain Marvel, that was a good trailer.
Yep.
It was an inspirational trailer.
Yep.
My daughter was excited to go see Captain Marvel because of that trailer. I was expecting something of that caliber for Ironheart. I didn't get that. And look, we haven't seen the movie. This is just a trailer. I'm just saying the purpose of a trailer is to hype up the crowd to go want to see the movie. And they kind of did not do a good job on this.
You know, and hopefully,
at least they put Ryan Coogler's name in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't mention Sinners.
of Wakanda Forever. I'm like, oh, that's not it. That's not a good thing.
You know, and again, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we shall see what the hype is come next month.
Don't go expecting a Coogler film, because understand he's just a producer. He didn't direct this film.
Yeah. I'm gonna need y'all, especially all the people on Threads. I'm gonna need y'all to pick up a comic book and you know, to get some context to this, because again, they talking about the Hood's gonna be the villain or whatever. Somebody mentioned that maybe Mephisto's gonna make an appearance, whatever. I would like to see, and I don't know if we're gonna get that, but I would like to see Tony Stark AI pop up.
You know how much money they have to pay RDJ to do that?
I know, man. And see, that's what I'm saying. This dude.
For 30 seconds, RDJ probably charges like $5 million.
But he was supposedly so much behind this project that he might be willing to do it.
Yeah, we'll see.
But that would have been 3 years ago. So
that part when he was still under contract.
Yeah,
Dominic Thorne. Dominic Thorne, in the interim since it was filmed, has gotten married and had like 3 kids by now.
Kevin Pitts asked, where does this fit in the timeline? It is after Wakanda Forever and before Jonathan Majors ran away from that woman in the streets.
Yeah,
that's where it fits in the timeline.
That part right there. I mean, so that look, bro. I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be like a hard right. Y'all be ready. Y'all be ready. This is. I cannot see this lining up for something. This is. Somebody mentioned in the chat earlier, Echo.
Yeah.
This might be Echo S. Connected to nothing, and maybe it is. We don't know. All I know is that trailer. Y'all got a remix trailer. That's what that was. That was not a real trailer. What's going on 100 podcast?
They had three years to get this thing right, and they still couldn't get it right. Yeah. That's crazy.
You had one job. We'll see again. Shout out to Ryan Coogler.
look at the pretty name. No, go back on. It'd be funny if Marvel used AI to do the Tony Stark AI, so you don't have to pay him.
Bro, hey.
Technically, they could do that.
They could do that. They could
technically do that.
I mean, to me, you got to generate some kind of buzz in terms of the fans or whatever, because you cannot ask fans to watch something that, one, the character has been kind of the character. Now she's been in Iron Man books lately.
Mm-hmm.
But she hasn't really done anything significant of late. Now, shout out to John Jennings, who did the one shot for chemistry or whatever. Now, in my humble opinion, they should have gave John a 4-issue mini to do that? Why put out a book, a comic book, or a one shot? Because that one shot came out in what, February?
It just came out. Just came out a few weeks ago.
Bad Chemistry.
The one shot he did.
Yeah,
it just came out like a month ago.
I guess, but I mean, to me, you don't have nothing new in the stores when this is dropping.
Yeah.
And you literally gave him only a one shot. He should have got at least a 4-issue mini. That way,
at least a 4-issue.
Yeah, you could literally have people go to the shop while this is, debuting or whatever. This is just pick up some cool books.
That is not even enough. What Marvel should have done is what they've done in the past. When you have a project coming out, you tie your project into all of your comics. Remember what was our biggest Marvel crossover event last year?
Blood Hunt.
Blood Hunt. What was supposed to come out last year, but for people screwing up scripts and stuff? Blade. So they made major crossover and promotion of hoping Blade was going to come out last year, and it didn't come out, obviously. But that's how you promote. Imagine if Blade had come out last year like it was supposed to.
If they had called it Blade Hunt, that series would still be going on because they haven't found him yet in the MCU.
Yeah.
Derek has been drinking something tonight, man. This dude's crazy funny tonight.
I mean, no. The thing is, though, you really have no steam behind this. And so here's now, Paul, Derek.
Hold on.
I need my disclaimer.
Oh God, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign.
You're cleared, Rich. You're cleared.
Okay. All right. So
where's my liquor?
Given how this has come out, right? How they dropped this or whatever.
Yeah.
This is literally gonna fall in our lap. This is gonna be on the Black comic book nerd community to make this thing something that it's not.
Why is it our responsibility, man?
Because it is, Paul.
Why is it always our responsibility?
Because it is. It's because it is. Now, I'm going to introduce a term to some of y'all that's familiar with it, and some of y'all may not be familiar with it, and that is called Afro-pessimism.
Oh, God. He's going deep.
Because the truth be told, we already know who's not tuning in to see this movie.
Yeah.
They're going to roast it, but we already know they're not going to watch it.
Yep.
It's going to be on us to watch it.
They're probably making memes right now.
It's going to be on us to watch it. And some of you casuals are going to expect Black Comic Lords to cover this when we don't even want to watch it ourselves.
I will cover the Eve viewing run happily.
Can we just cover the comic book?
I'll be all the comic books.
Let's do the Eve viewing Ironheart. And we could even follow that up with John Jennings' Bad Chemistry. We can do that. But
I tell you what we do.
You're going to expect
every episode we compare it to the comics and we say, here's how the television show did not get it right.
Yeah, you're going to expect us. Black people, I tell you, y'all going to expect us to cover this. Y'all going to expect us to be positive. Y'all going to expect us to be. Y'all going to expect us to be woke.
Here's gonna be my meme. I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna take a screenshot from every episode and put at the bottom. Eve Ewing wouldn't have wrote that.
Bruh. I'm telling you. All you. Let me just shout out to the sisters. Because I'm gonna be honest. Some of y'all gonna get that work over the next few weeks. Here's the deal.
Look at Amir's comment.
It's starting to feel like,
bruh. Damn, that's tough. That's tough.
Bruh. You and I know when you see a truck coming and you know that truck is not stopping, we're not going to sit there and just watch the truck come and hit us. But that's what's coming. And here's the thing. We're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to be positive about it because, again, it's going to fall on us to be to champion it. And that ain't what I'm signing up for. But y'all going to expect us to do it, though. Now, I like Damon's comment. He says, Afro-pessimism is a theoretical framework that argues that anti-Blackness is central to the function of civil society and that Blackness is not merely a cultural identity. Yeah, all you got to do is see Marvel. Because there's nothing Black about this show except Riri Williams.
Damn, now that they've said that, I can't stop thinking about it.
It
was very CW-ish.
I don't even, you know what we need to go, we can't play it on here, but we need to watch, because I'm trying to figure out what was the musical choice. Do you remember the music in the trailer? Because even the music was nondescript.
I can't even remember what music they played. You know, I'm talking about this. Look, here's the thing. It's funny you should bring up music. And it's even funnier that someone just made the comment about this feeling CW-ish. I feel that there has been a role reversal in the universe. You remember that Marvel comic book story Axis? Where
Yes.
good guys became bad and bad guys became good.
Mhm.
That's what's going on in comic book movies right now. Because Marvel put out a CW trailer, and CW was a Warner Brothers DC Comics, brand. And DC put out a Marvel trailer and called it Superman. When you talked about music, I remember the music from this trailer.
Lloyd Jackson, that was music.
Look, I watched the Superman trailer, and all the things that we were just talking about with Riri Williams trailer, this trailer had. It inspired you. It made you excited. It was colorful. It had flash. It had whiz bang. It had moments that made you say, wow, that character is interesting. And the music was playing throughout the whole thing. I'm still listening to the music in my head right now. Because shout out to Jonathan Williams. I think it was Jonathan Williams who made the original Superman track back in 1978. For guys of a certain age like me and Rich, we have a soft spot in our hearts for Christopher Reeve as Superman from back in the day. He made all the little children of the world believe that they could fly. Some of the best superhero movies of all time were those original couple of Superman movies. And they tapped into that nostalgia. Bryan Singer tried to do it with his Superman Returns movie, but he ended up falling flat in terms of the storyline. But he did tap into the nostalgia of those films. This film does so even more so. Shout out to James Gunn. The man did his damn thing. He did the thing.
We got a dope trailer. I mean, DC is up. What's that song? Are we all the way up?
DC all the way up. I mean, they showed Marvel up this today. They showed them up.
Yeah.
Marvel tried to be slick and dropped their trailer right before the Superman trailer, hoping to ride that wave, but nah.
Now they got threw it off that wave. Now go back to Warriors FS. Talks about Iyanu. Child Wonder produced by Unique Studios, an African studio that has multiple awards, gets no love, make it make sense. Well, we've been talking about it here.
Yeah, we were talking about the book years ago when it dropped.
Yeah, and the cartoon. We waiting on the dude. We've been waiting 2 years to interview the guy, and he told us after the show was done. So it's just a matter of time of getting him on blackcomiclords. So we've been talking about it here. We can't speak for, but that's why I brought up earlier, Paul. I'm telling you, the black comic book community are going to expect us to ride this wave. And I don't know if we can get in the car and take this thing somewhere. Because, you know, I don't like parroting commentary by pasty YouTubers. But this might be dead on arrival. We'll see. We'll see. But that Superman trailer, that was fire. We can't talk about Superman no more because then, Paul, the problem will be that, well, y'all spent 30 minutes on and talked about Superman for a whole hour. We could. We could, but we can't do that. We got a couple super chats.
Yeah, we got 3 of them actually. So let's
All
get
right.
to it. Let's just start. Let's go backwards here. So Warriors FS, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Evolve back! Evolve back!
And not too about done, Mr. Bo Big.
Bo Biggs.
Let's go! Let's go!
Appreciate you, bro.
Now,
One more.
Okay,
One more?
Kevin Pitts. All right, that's what's
Kevin
up.
Finn also. That's right. Here we
Thank you,
go.
sir.
Thank you, Kevin.
Show me the money. Yeah! Louder! Show me the money! I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! I love black people!
Yo, so Warrior FS asked the question. He says, Ianu Wonder animated series is awesome. How come none of the sisters are showing her any love? I think the problem with that has been, one, it's a children's show. If I'm gonna keep it real, it's a children's show. And number 2, it's not Marvel or DC. It's not sexy because it's not a big studio. It's being streamed on Max, right, Paul?
Yeah. It's
Being streamed on Max. Unique Studios is a dope studio. They put out some great books. I love all their books. But we cannot, say it enough, the importance of independence and getting their love, because it's not MCU stuff. Nobody's really talking about it. And it is what it is. I don't know why that is, you know what I'm saying? But you got people that check for it, and then you got people that don't. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the noise that we're hearing in these MCU spaces, these are casuals. These are not comic book fans. These are not the people that's gonna go out and buy the books. I'm willing to bet, if I was a betting man and I was to poll like 50 YouTubers that talked about why we ain't seen the trailer, I bet you they don't even have the Bad Chemistry book that John Jennings did that just came out. I bet you they don't have it, and I bet you they didn't go buy it. I bet you they didn't go read it. I bet you they probably just, for the first time, there was an Ironheart book came out? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yep.
Look, do you remember the excitement? You talk about Coogler was the producer of this. Do you remember the trailer that Coogler did for Black Panther, the original?
The first one? The very, very first one?
That first trailer?
Oh, yes. The revolution will not be televised.
Man, that was art.
Yes, sir.
That first trailer had me so, I must have watched it literally a dozen times in a row. I'm not even exaggerating. I was so hyped. Had that Run the Jewels beat.
Yeah, they did their thing on it. And it's unfortunate that, because here's the thing. This is a black superhero, black woman.
A young black woman.
Young black woman that we're talking about. And for her to be done kind of this way, it's a disservice to the work that Dominique Thorne has probably done. And I would like to think that this is going to be decent, but I just don't think Marvel has done her any favors with this. Like I said, guys, this was done. They finished filming this before Wakanda Forever came out.
They could have had an entire marketing scheme.
And nothing came out about reshoots or doing the script differently. So they literally been sitting on this. And here's the unfortunate part that may get this, bombed in terms of, how they bombed the ratings on this or whatever. This might come out dated. You know how you watch something that back 10 years ago or whatever, when you saw it, that was fire or whatever, but it necessarily didn't age well. Something like this, based on the whole thing with what happened in Wakanda Forever. We all know that farce. But she's coming out of that. That was her introduction into the MCU. And people are probably looking for something along that line. But this is very street. This does not have, we see her flying in the suit a little bit.
But we don't see her flying in this suit.
No, we don't see that.
This cover, what you see here, that should have been the trailer. I need to see her in her suit. The one that's been on television. The one that's been in cartoons. The one that's in the comic books on the shelves. I need this suit with a bunch of missiles flying around her evading them and zapping them out of the sky. Is that complicated? That's action. That's a superhero movie trailer.
I think we just
trailer.
We just know based off of when this show was made and what other types of shows were being made at the time that the signs aren't that good, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, Mr. Coogler has given us a reason to care about the main characters and for us to feel a real sense of purpose and or peril behind what she's got going on. And another thing he's really good at is giving us a reason to not just all out and out hate or not care about a villain. He gives us a reason to kind of understand what that villain's motives are, right? So
hopefully
remember in the Superman trailer, he saves a little boy and he's protecting a little girl, covering the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the same thing, same scene. Ironheart lifting up big thing. A little black girl.
We didn't see any heroics in the trailer at all.
Here's another trailer scene right here, cover of this book. At the end of the day, we're Black Comic Lords. We'll always tell you, go back to the source material. Everything you need for these movies and television shows is in the comics. Just follow it. Here's a cover that literally should be part of the movie and should have been part of the trailer. Seeing that scene, the little black girl holding her Ironheart doll, looking up at Ironheart, lifting up this piece of thing, that would have been inspirational. That would have been exciting. That would have got me hyped up. I didn't get any of that. Basic superhero trailer.
And again, like I say, Paul, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think this is we're gonna get blamed for this.
We always get blamed for everything. Never the good stuff, though.
But what can we do now? Amir being a savage, he says, "Y'all know I love y'all, but this movie's just a tax write."
Well, it's a show, but it can still be a tax write-off, though.
Yeah.
Oh man, look, it is what it is, guys. Hopefully, we get now. Mawan, I think, he's a Cowboy fan, so they'll say anything. He said, "Playing devil's advocate, we could be surprised like we were with Thunderbolts."
But we heard early word about the test screenings for Thunderbolts that it was good. I haven't heard word one about this show. Did they even do test screenings?
Because they're not test screening it.
There you go.
Now, see, Nigel, Nigel the G says we saw more criminal stuff and making it rain shots than hero stuff. We did.
That's a good point. That's actually a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
I saw no hero stuff.
It was very stereotypical, and let's keep it G. This is supposedly taking place in Chicago, or I'm not sure if they're going to. Riri Williams is from Chicago. I don't know if they're going to be doing the show in Chicago. But yeah, they were making it rain in the trailer. So I don't know. I just,
That's
you know
very
what?
inspirational. Little girls everywhere.
Yeah, just leave my boys alone. I'm gonna leave them alone. Believe it. I'm, you know. Can we just talk about something else? Let's.
Ah,
I can't do this no more. It's y'all just June 24th. Y'all tune in, and we'll have 3 episodes to talk about. And if it's great, we're gonna talk about it. If it's garbage, we're gonna roast it. Either way, Marvel didn't do no of y'all favors. Derek, tell them again, or let Malcolm tell them again what happened.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I say it again. You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Look at this comment.
I'm in Chicago when I saw that trailer. I wasn't overwhelmed or underwhelmed. I was just went.
Lord of
Yeah.
mercy.
Woo, Lord, I tell you. I mean, you know, look, guys.
So, sometimes you do work and it's just pass fail work, you know, like sometimes it's, hey, A+ work, and sometimes it's pass fail. I feel like Marvel's like, hey, this is pass fail work.
This
Let's talk about something we actually care about, which is comic books.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Did any of you guys get to read any
them
of these
starting to
books?
be a problem too.
Look, there's a lot of books here, but in actuality, there's only a few I actually want to talk about. As far as this one, Green Lantern Corps, I'm actually enjoying this series. Shout out to Morgan Hampton.
That came out. See, now I was at the shop today and I forgot to grab that. I don't have that on my pull, but I got the Absolute Green Lantern on my pull.
This is actually a cool series. It's because it's not a team book per se, but it's got a large cast of Green Lantern characters. It's the actual Green Lantern Corps. They were destroyed. They're coming back. They're being rebuilt. They're rebuilding the Green Lantern Corps. This is the storyline. Teen Lantern and my man Simon Bad. Thank you. They're kind of like a Batman Robin. You know, he's basically kind of taking her under the wing, trying to show her the ropes. We learned something about Teen Lantern that we never knew before in this issue. In actuality, it's a minor spoiler. It's not a big deal. It's her birthday in this issue. And they're like, how old are you turning? I'm turning 12. But your name is Teen Lantern. How is it you're turning 12? She's like, I don't know. That just kind of worked out that way. She's not even a teenager. She's just turned 12 years old. And the other thing that you learn is that the next issue is going to reveal what her true origin is. So be on the lookout for the next issue, issue 5 of Green Lantern Corps, because that's going to be a minor key, because it's going to be the true origin, allegedly, of Teen Lantern.
Mr. DC says Battle Beast was great. Speaking of Battle Beast, isn't that by Jonathan Hickman? Isn't that his book?
Battle Beast? I'm not familiar with that one. You mean from this book?
What?
Different topic altogether.
A different topic altogether.
Yeah.
Oh.
In white man's news, white comic book news.
Other book that came out, Miles Morales.
DC Comics says, Jonathan Hickman, before you get there, Paul, Jonathan Hickman weighed in recently and talked about, what happened with House of X, Powers of 10, and how, he was not happy with the direction that they took with his idea. You know what I'm saying? He was the guy who created that whole thing that reintroduced the X-Men, right? And so it kind of course, he left the project, went off the rails. And, for our trouble, we got Marauders 13. Shout out to Vita Ayala. We love you, Vita. But, yeah, we still a little sore about that book.
I informed Vita about my feelings about the book. They took it in stride.
Yeah. So Robert Kirkman. Okay.
Yeah, Robert Kirkman of Invincible Universe.
So, but yeah, that was in the news recently. And I just thought that was interesting because, of course, we know that all you Storm fans, he was trying to have her pregnant. And y'all would have got a legitimate or illegitimate, I don't know. TJ would have been a real thing in the comics.
He would have been acceptable, though.
Oh boy! Shout out to the Black Panther fan base. Oh, Spider-Man.
Speaking of Black Panther, Miles Morales.
Hey,
Fresh from his returning from Wakanda, where he was made the herald of Anansi.
Yep.
Nazi. He is officially.
This is a good book, bro. If y'all sleeping on Miles Morales, y'all might want to go and jump on.
Look, Cody Ziegler is doing God's work and nobody knows about it, and it's crazy. He is one of the top comments people have made about Miles Morales is, oh, he's just a clone of Peter Parker. He doesn't even have his own rogues gallery. Cody Ziegler's like, bet. He's been making an entire world for Miles Morales that has nothing to do with Peter Parker. He has his own characters, his own friends, his own allies, his own enemies. He's creating Miles Morales' own rogues gallery, his own superhero friends. He's being trained by Misty Knight, which is significant in of itself. Name for me how many times you see in a mainstream comic a senior black superhero teaching a younger black superhero. I'll wait. Doesn't happen that often.
Nope.
It does not happen that often. So that was significant. Now he, as I said, when he went to Wakanda to cure himself of the vampirism, he's made the herald of Anansi. Anansi has many avatars. Everyone in the Spider-Verse, the entire Spider-Verse, are technically avatars of Bast because they're all just spider people. But he is the herald of Bast.
You meant Anansi.
I'm sorry, I said Bast.
Yeah.
I meant Anansi. Sorry, Cult of Wakanda, Cult of Bast. But yeah, he's the herald of Anansi. So it's kind of like Silver Surfer to Galactus, right? He's his main dude. And so now Anansi's starting to go out into the world and he's flexing against the other gods. He's having beef with another member of the pantheon of gods, Ares. Ares and Anansi don't like each other. Ares has his avatar, some schlepped guy nobody cares about, but it's going up against Miles, and they want to battle it out to settle their god beef. So he's like, we're going to have my avatars, my heralds, go up against your avatars and heralds, because gods themselves are not allowed to fight amongst each other because there's pantheon rules against that. But they're allowed to have proxy, demigods or mortals fight in their stead on their behalf, just to prove a point. And that's what's happening here. So you've got Thor in this issue, Hercules in this issue, you've got Ares, you've got Agent Gal, who is one of Miles' nemesis. She's been powered up by Ares as his sort of avatar and given superpowers to. Dope.
Don't tell it. Don't tell no more. It's a good book. Y'all go check it out.
I won't. Well, it's not really a spoiler because it's right there on the cover. Miles Morales meets the might of Powerlift. So there's a new character. This particular issue is a minor key again because you have the reveal of this new character, Powerlift, who's semi-new, kind of. So check it out. All right. There's like one other issue I want to talk about. What could it possibly be? Oh yes,
Black Panther.
my boy T'Challa. Check out the cover. T'Challa and Aurora sitting under the tree.
Can't get together by Marvel's industry.
This is a dope cover. I like this cover. I like this cover. This is a dope cover. So, long story short, wow, it's kind of complicated to say long story short in this. If you're not following the book, it might be a little hard for you to follow. But we see a new character introduced, Adi, last issue, who was this, I think it was a Nigerian soldier who gets taken over by the vibranium entity. His brother, who's an assassin, joins with T'Challa and Aurora to try and find him and figure out what's going on with vibranium. T'Challa and Aurora are really trying to, get ahead of this whole vibranium thing. That's because they realize vibranium is sentient. It has a will. And there's a scientist that's trying to figure out vibranium. And you're trying to find out who is this scientist working for, who's trying to figure out how vibranium works and its consciousness. Another part of the story. This particular issue has some dope covers. Here's the Shuri cover. Another dope issue. As always, all of Brian Hill's issues too short. Too short. That's my only complaint. Just way too damn short.
It's the Boom Studios effect.
Oh, now this is the issue I've been looking forward to. Let me talk about this one.
X-Men 13?
X-Men 14.
14. Okay.
Now, 13 introduced this character that we see here. Not that one. This one. This character's name is Henrietta Benjamin. Now, shout out to Gail Simone. Why is this really, really relevant? The biggest movie out, other than Thunderbolts, or the biggest movie out from a couple weeks ago, was Sinners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black Gothic, Southern Gothic tale, told back in the what year was that? 1930s, something like that.
1932.
This book has flashbacks to a time in the South in the 1920s, 1930s, in Louisiana, New Orleans.
Yep.
The X-Men of New Orleans come across this building, which is actually like a gateway that's in a cemetery that's, goes back hundreds of years. As they're exploring that, they're doing this flashbacks about this woman's story. And Gail Simone wrote a story, very Southern Gothic-like story, about a secret society of mutants in the South, specifically Black mutants in the South, that had their own language. They had their own culture, subculture. And they had hunters, people that were hunting them, kind of like sentinels, but they're just, human beings who were hunting them. And every issue was like revealing a little bit more about this culture. Henrietta Benjamin, and you got to wonder, she named her Henrietta. You kind of think maybe she's referencing Henrietta Lacks, who is, for all intents and purposes, a real life mutant. Google it if you don't know. I don't really know how to put this into words. It's very timely to do this story because you get a lot of Sinners vibes off of it, just from the concept of it being like the Southern Gothic tale. And in this issue, as you see on this cover, you see her powers revealed for the first time. So even though in the last issue, you see the introduction of Henrietta Benjamin, in this issue is the first time you see her powered persona in this particular issue. And this is her first cover as this power persona. This is the cover to get, in my opinion. So definitely check it out. This one right here was the this was the 1 in 50 Luciano Vecchio variant. You can get the one with the trade dress for far less. So this is the one I would recommend to go ahead and get.
Yeah, just buy 50 books so you can get it. Mhm.
not that one. But that's it. That's it. Those are the books I wanted to talk about.
Mr. DC says, anybody reading Spawn? Here he is, right here, Spawn 364.
Oh yeah, 364.
Yeah, record breaking. This as long as this book keep printing, it's going to be a record. Every book, the longest ongoing title. Yeah, Spawn is great. I'm definitely enjoying it.
And still $2.99.
It's still $2.99. And there's King Spawn, which is also another Al Simmons book as well. So yeah, I read Spawn. Have not had a chance to read a whole lot of stuff. I do have the new Power Fantasy book, issue number, what is this? 8, issue 8. So between that, I do tell you what I am reading, and this is for you guys that like baseball stuff. Okay. So I don't have my issue 1 in front. Oh yeah. Just reach into the portal and grab it. This is a book called Pastime. It's about baseball. All right. And the main protagonist is a black baseball player. And this is about, Chicago, 1988, basically it's a tale about a black Negro League player, whatever, trying to teach, or not teach, but he's being interviewed by a reporter. And it's a story, but I think it's a horror story. That was issue number 1 by Mad Cave. And this is issue number 2 that just came out this week as well. So this has a black character in it. So if you like baseball and that kind of thing and those kind of stories, no, not 1888, 1988. It's actually, the story begins in Chicago, 1988, but it's a story back in the early 1900s. So yeah, so Joe Harris, Russell Alone, and Carlos Manguel. So yeah, you can go check that out. And white people news, Absolute Batman came out, of course. Everybody, I don't know if y'all reading Absolute Batman, but
White people.
I am enjoying it. For some reason, speaking of Batman, the Hush, the Hush 2 story arc is going on, but for whatever reason, that book is not coming out like it's supposed to. Batman is usually like every 2 weeks. It's in the stores. But since Absolute Batman kind of come on board, it's kind of taking a back seat to Absolute Batman in a way. That and Dark Pattern. Shout out to my man Khatib. I think Khatib was the one that kind of put me on the Dark Patterns. I was not able to procure an issue 1 of Dark Patterns, which is why I didn't collect it. But I did want to make note of something going back to Ultimate Black Panther. In the Ultimate Black Panther book, there is a page, which I bring this up because it's important to understand the work that Moreva Ayodele is doing. It's an article, or should I say an ad, for the Storm volume trade paperback. It made it to a trade paperback. So if you did not pick up Storm when it first started, you can go and get the first trade. It's available now. It's on sale now. Absolute Wonder Woman, only a 5-shot. No, I think Absolute Wonder Woman is they're going to continue what I want to say. Because I just read it. I just read it, the latest issue. But no, it's going to keep going.
I Manifesto's asking about how's about Absolute Green Lantern. That was I enjoyed the first one. I haven't read the second one.
Absolute Green Lantern is okay. It's a horror story.
It's different.
Yeah, and it's a little gothic. People are on their goth vibe for now, whatever reason. But yeah, a manifesto. I think it's dope. I mean, you know, we gotta see some more of it really to kind of really formulate a real opinion of it. First issue was dope. Second issue was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it's worth checking out.
I had a book I wanted to share that I posted up in the space this week. Indie book that I've had. I have a stack of comics that are on my nightstand, like a big stack of books I always like. I'm gonna get around to reading it, and I never get around to reading it. That's the story of my life as a Black comic
Right.
lord. I spend so much time doing stuff like this. I don't sit there and actually get a chance to read the books that I want to read.
Please hit the like button, guys. How many likes we got?
Not nearly enough.
Yeah, y'all hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button. Please hit the like button.
So
What
I
about
go in.
Absolute Superman? Jeff Rocker, Absolute Superman is great. I'm enjoying it. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm enjoying it.
All right. So I go into my stack and just randomly pull out a comic to read that night. And I pulled this one out. OAD Rain. It's by Generate Comics. Really dope story. Real dope principle. Premise. So it sort of begs the questions. What if in the Civil War, the South won?
Yep.
The South won. Black people become slaves for hundreds of years, even further, right? And they become a subclass because now they're being used as like a workforce in every sense of the word. But now they're enhanced through technology as either mutants or with technology, with cybernetic implants, etc. And they become this subclass. Well, I mean, you're a slave, you're already a subclass, but it's just taking it to its natural relevance. Like, imagine if slaves existed today. If there was a subculture of people that had literally no rights and you could do whatever you want with them. Think about all the experimentation someone like Elon Musk would do with them, implanting various things to make them workhorses for all intents and purposes. So this guy is one of those people, but he's one of the higher level in terms of the advanced type of features that they've given him. And he falls out of the sky literally into the past. And, you know, his stories, this woman who's a college student, you see on the cover, finds him, and the story's unfolding. And he's got to like face other people from the past that come forward, try to take him back, etc. It's just a very original story. I'm not doing this justice, but it's a very original story. The story was good. The art was good. The art was very comparable to anything that you'd see in any mainstream book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and buy some more issues from this run.
Okay.
OAD Rain, Generate Comics.
Okay. That's what's up. So, you know, we had Free Comic Book Day. Did you read the Marvel Voices new story featuring Ironheart?
I did. The Ironheart
Just
story
Ireland?
it was fine. I thought some of the lines were a little comic bookish sounding. The dialogue, I mean. But that was like that and one other story were like the only two original stories in that book. I think it was maybe out of 6 stories, I think 3 of them might have been original stories. The rest of it was just rehashes of other books. Which,
yeah, the Black Panther story with Storm and T'Challa and they grandbabies.
yeah, the 3-page story.
That's in there. You know, I think, you know, Marvel loves trolling Black Panther fans, so I guess it was one of those. Y'all remember this?
Yeah.
But yeah, so somebody was asking about Absolute Wonder Woman. This is issue number 6. So it's an ongoing. Absolute Wonder Woman is a horror story. It's a version of Diana Prince who grows up in Hades. She lives in Hades. She grows up in Hades, and so because she grows up in hell, her perspective is different. She's not this woman who was from Themyscira. She's completely different. Her mindset is completely different. She's coming into quote unquote her sisterhood, so to speak, but it's one of those things where she's fighting monsters. It's a superhero story, but it's a horror story at the end of the day. So great, great look as far as if you're not a big Wonder Woman fan, I think it's you could probably check it out and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Marwan Williams asks, anyone reading the Rocketeer comics? I'm tempted to check out. No, I didn't know about the Rocketeer, but that brings up a book that I'd like to talk about. What was it called? It's like the black version of Rocketeer. You know what I'm talking about, Rich?
Oh, you're talking about I know the book.
The Power of the Vril.
Yeah, Power of the Vril. Yeah,
Captain Gravity and the Power of the Vril.
Power of the Vril.
Let me pull that up. Let me pull that up.
You can find those in dollar bins too, guys. You might have to hunt for a while, but you can find them.
Here's a series. If you like the Rocketeer, if you like those sort of pulp hero stories, here's one for you. Captain Gravity and the Power of the Vril. October 1962, a young pulp enthusiast is interviewing Willie Ley about an infamous 1947 story, The Vril, in which he describes the Nazis' attempt to acquire a pan-ultimate universal power. Willie is haunted by memories of the past and launches into a tale of a movie-inspired superhero and a global race to rescue a beautiful starlet amidst 1930s Hollywood and the growing Nazi regime. Captain Gravity, The Secret of the Vril, relaunches the popular Captain Gravity series in the adventure of gravitational proportions. Here's the cover here. These are all black characters. Let me pull up another issue.
Looks interesting.
Look at this.
Yep. Yeah. It's dope. It's dope. I think y'all guys will definitely enjoy it. Don't sleep on it.
Great series. And it's not expensive to find.
No.
This is not an expensive series.
Yeah.
This artwork you see here is very similar to what you see inside. The art was done by artist Sal Voluto. If you're a Black Panther fan, you'll recognize Sal Voluto was the artist for much of the Christopher Priest run on Black Panther.
Yeah.
Great series. If you're into pulp stuff, this is a great series for you.
All right, I need you to make me big, Paul or Derek. Make me big, like my man says. Shout out to Mr. Ford. So, and this is Herschel. Herschel will hate this, but I don't care. Shout out to all of y'all that like to go to Ollie's. Now, Ollie's been, that's good cheap stuff. Okay.
Yep.
So, we kind of go back and forth about comics and manga and why is manga outselling comics and blah, 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 right? Okay, well, guess what? Saturday AM is a Black-owned manga company, and they have their books at Ollie's. Apple Black.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw those at Ollie's too. I didn't pick them up though.
$1.99 for the first volume.
Paul, didn't you interview one of the writers for Apple Black?
Stephanie Williams. I interviewed Stephanie Williams did an adaptation of Apple Black, and we did an interview with her.
Underground. But this is a Black-owned manga company. And they had these books. They $1.99. And if you're looking for something different to read, if you don't know what the big deal is about manga or whatever, check it out. So again, these are $1.99 at Ollie's. So I know we always talk about, getting dope stuff at Ollie's. And if you've never read any manga before, here's a step. Here's a entry point, if that makes any sense.
Was Clock Striker one of them? Someone's asked us. Clock Striker is amazing. Is Clock Striker one of those books? Is that part of that thing?
I didn't no. I didn't see that at the but these four I did see. This is the massive multiplayer of the World of Ghosts, Underground, and Apple Black.
Okay.
So this book here is Saturday Annual. This has stories from Ghana, Greece, United Kingdom, and more. But this is a Black-owned company, y'all. Saturday AM. So I know we sometimes give manga fans grief because it's a Japanese art form that I'm just saying, y'all know what it is, But anyway, you're looking for some representation. Check it out.
I had some Ollie's finds too.
What you got, Derek?
When I was traveling, I did stop at an Ollie's, 2 Ollie's. So
how do you find
I was
comic
in the
book?
United States.
How do you find comic book stores in these countries that you go to?
I was not out of the country this time. So the first one is not a comic
this
book,
time.
but I thought this would be a good one for for a kid to have. I don't know if you've seen this book
How are
before.
you on that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So written by Muhammad Ali's daughter, but she's talking about why her father said what he said when he said it, and it's a good one, for young kids. So check that out. Good price. I think it was either $3.99 or $4.99. I took the sticker off. Another one is Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur, the beginning. So this would be a good one for a young child.
I bought that one for my daughter. I think I gave her that exact same book.
And I think this one was $3.99 or $4.99 also. So you can't beat that price. And then I've been looking for this one for a while. This is volume 2 of Black Panther, the complete collection.
Man, I think I got that right here.
I'm sure you do, Paul. So this is the volume 2 of that. It covers, let's see, Black Panther 18 through 35. That's the 1998 version of Black Panther, and Deadpool number 44, written by Christopher Feast and illustrated by Kyle Holtz.
That's where Killmonger becomes the Black Panther.
Yeah, and then one other pickup, another really cheap, but Black Panther and the Crew picked that one up too. I think this was like $2.99 or $1.99.
Right.
So a lot of books I hadn't seen in my local Ollie's that I saw in my travels over the past week.
Yeah, Ollie's is great for getting trade paper.
And I did see those Apple Black books too, and I had them in hand and I was going to buy them, and I put them back.
Yep.
So I didn't know if I was going to get to reading them.
Yeah, so, as like I say, Saturday AM is Black Company. Speaking of Ollie's, again, here's shout out to all you Black Panther fans that every time Marvel puts something out, y'all run to the store and buy it, and then I just run to Ollie's and get it for like 75% off.
Yeah, that's cold.
So this was literally $4.99, and this is the Protectors of Wakanda. Yeah. So, but let me show now. I am a geek in every sense of the word of geekdom. Okay,
that's a great book, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Now, today I was at my comic shop, and sometimes when you're at the comic shop is no different than going to the grocery store. And what I mean by that is that in a grocery store, all the healthy stuff is on the outside. The inner aisles have all the junk food. But when you get ready to check out, the candy is right there. People want to know why they put the candy right there. They put the candy right there because they know your kids are going to grab it. So I was in the comic shop today, and I found some candy. As a geek, I could not resist this. This book here is called The Myth Makers. This is a graphic novel, not a novel, but it's basically a story about the friendship of C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien.
Were they friends in real life?
Yes, they were real friends. They were friends in real life.
That's crazy.
We all know C.S. Lewis, great theologian, did the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe or the Chronicles of Narnia series. and J.R.R. Tolkien is famous for the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings stuff. They were besties back in the day. A lot of people don't know that. And so this guy, John Hendricks, who has some, I love his art. Very, very simplistic, but dope. Very, very dope guy. This is like a second book I just bought of his, but this was sitting at the counter. And I sat there for about 10 minutes figuring out whether or not to spend the bread to get it. I said, you know what? I'm going to go on and get this because I love C.S. Lewis and I love J.R.R. Tolkien. You know, it's full of pictures and, you know, just things about their friendship and the work that they did, because they were, you know, they served in the military in World War I, World War II. You know, these are the guys who basically created the childhood we have.
Yeah.
All the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, all that stuff. J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis. I can't say enough about that dude. One of my favorite theologians. But yeah. So anyway, you know, as far as geekdom stuff goes, there's a lot of dope stuff out here, y'all. Marvel and DC not the only thing in town.
No, they're not.
They're not. So, you know, get you some bread, go to Ollie's, get you, you know, lead them Wakanda Forever toys in the show and in the store, and go get you some books. Ollie's has some dope stuff. I mean, you know, I bought one of my Black Panther omnibuses from Ollie's. Yeah. Fast Food Jackson said J.R.R. Tolkien actually led C.S. Lewis to Christ. C.S. Lewis was an atheist. Yes, he was. Eventually became one of the greatest theologian thinkers of the time. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
As we talk about, Marvel and DC are not the only things in town. Something I would highly recommend in terms of getting into the indie world, right? Because sometimes you don't know. You may ask yourself, well, I want to buy indie books, but I don't know which ones to get. Some of the books can be a bit pricey for one issue. You're like, I don't want to invest in that, right? Like, I need to know if it's any good. I've talked about this. I posted this in the space. There's an app, a website called Global Comics. You make me big. There. Global Comics. COMIX. You can pay one price for a subscription for a year, and you have access to a multitude of comics. A lot of them, most of them are independent. They even have DC Comics in there. Marvel doesn't want anything to do with this site. But if you want to get, look, there's our Stranger Comics in there.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be able to read all of these books ad nauseum without paying extra money, to try them out, to say, hey, that's a story I want to get into, I highly recommend you get a subscription to Global Comics. I've really gotten into it. I read particular books and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go to that site and I'm going to buy the physical copies of those books. But it's a great way to try out and see whether or not this is a storyline that you want to follow, if it's a company you want to support. I highly recommend it. globalcomics.com.
Also, guys, if you don't have the bread to just spend like that, go to your local library.
Yeah.
You can check out graphic novels. Graphic novels, if you ever thought about, you know, reading something or buying something, but you didn't really want to spend the bread on it, but, you know, you can go to your library and get the first volume of a book or whatever. There's like, you know, as far as books like Saga that have like 100 gazillion volumes or whatever, you can go rent or go check out Saga Volume 1. Why the Last Man, books like this, or the more popular X-Men stuff. I mean, you just go to the library and just stack up on if you just don't have the bread like that. Because I don't want everybody to think, because we're living in a day and time where it is literally costing a lot of bread to just be a nerd. Whether it's digital services, whether it's streaming services, whether it's comic book prices, all of this stuff. Shout out to Reggie Collects. Reggie Collects did a short where he talked about some of the bags and boards. One particular company, I think is CBW. I'm not sure. CBW, I think that's the name of the company. They were basically they basically were being taxed or get a tariff. What they decided to do was they decided to eat the tariff tax, and so the bags and boards are not going to go up for that company. Everybody can't say that. Everybody else ain't saying that, but they said that they will. So, you know, bags and boards are already expensive. You know, bags and boards actually, particularly boards. Boards went up during pandemic. I remember you can get a stack of 100 boards for like $9.99. Now they're like $15, $16.99. I don't even want to talk about boxes. Boxes are ridiculous. Short boxes, especially. Short boxes cost you $10 now. It's crazy.
One box.
For one box, you know. And so I got out of long boxes for short boxes because, you know, I'm getting older. I can't be hauling no long boxes, 250, 300 comics, and I ain't doing that. So, yeah, you know, so be wise with your money, guys. And again, you know, the library is a dope alternative to just picking up. And you support your library as well when you do that. Because, you know, the guy that's in office right now, he just fired the Librarian of Congress.
But why? Because she had books that had too much DEI in it.
Well, but the Library of Congress is responsible for every book that's printed.
Every book.
That's the whole thing. They're not just. It's not like they're just propping up certain books or whatever. I mean, any book that's printed, the Library of Congress has a copy of.
It is
or knows about it. It's in the database
of the Library of Congress to be a repository of all of our works, all of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
It's a repository of knowledge. And they said, you know what? This librarian put in books of people that don't look like me. And so we want to remove those books. And certainly have a chilling effect on adding more books like that to the Library of Congress.
Yeah.
They're trying to wipe away our history.
Man, they're not trying. They are. They taking stuff out of these. Shout out to all of y'all who have been to the Smithsonian. Because they're starting to remove things out of the Smithsonian.
Oh, the African American. Oh my God.
Yeah. This thing is real, y'all. And let's not forget, we're gonna get back on these comics.
And you know the president who approved that, the museum, you know who it was, right?
Yeah.
George W. Bush. George W. Bush. Even he approved it.
Hey, but this is a sign of where we are. And let's not forget that they just gave asylum to South Africans.
White South Africans.
White South Africans.
Racial-based asylum.
I mean, you know, this is a country that historically had the worst apartheid. Now they can come to the U.S. no problem.
It's a big thing because it's making the concept of reverse racism real.
Mm-hmm.
That it's saying white people are the victims. We are being discriminated against. The system's working against us.
Yeah. He said, "Who approved the crime bill?" We're gonna get off of politics because we'll be all day.
Let's not go there.
But my man say, "Got him." But anyway, but yeah, guys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But we have to be conscious. We spend our discretionary funds on this hobby, and you know, the funds might not be there. I know my funds have certainly changed. It's not sweet out here. It's not peaches and cream out here, y'all. We gotta wrestle with this. And this is year one. Year one.
We're not even through half the year.
No. Oh. So, you know, and again, you know, these, you know, we're asking people to buy the books, you know, read the comics, buy the comics. But I want everybody to understand and know that, you know, everybody doesn't have a budget for, you know, comic books or pull lists and that kind of thing. We're very, very conscious of that. I think that that's the one thing I want people to understand maybe tonight above other things, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I've been buying comics and books, and you know, again, I talk about library. I mean, I am a bibliophile, which is, you know, basically, you know, I love books, a lover of books. I will go to the library, and I will check out books. I will then go to a bookstore and buy books. And I go to a bookstore and I'll sit in the bookstore and read books. My life is surrounded by this addiction that I have called books, comics, the whole 9 yards. And I find different ways to consume it and whatever. Like one of the books I'm reading right now is The Last Cargo, which is actually a companion book to Barracoon by Zora Neale Hurston. And The Last Cargo is about the last slave ship, the Cotillia, who came to America illegally. Now, Paul, I don't know if you know how this happened, but in the book, this all took place because of a bet. White people being white people. A bet, Paul. A guy bet some of his, you know, his friends that he could sneak a cargo of Africans into the country. And that's the Clotilda, that's the source of that actual slave ship. Slavery had been abolished. You weren't supposed to be on the open sea in a slave ship. It was done. It was done. And this nut was able to do it on a bet. A bet, bro. You remember the movie Trading Places?
Yeah.
They jacked up that dude's life over $1. This is the shenanigans. And I bring that up now. You ask me, well, what does it have to do with comics? I'm so glad you asked. We all know that the Dora Milaje were inspired by the Dahomey, the Amazon Dahomey. There are real Amazons. There were real Amazons. They were Black women. History lesson. They were called the Dahomey tribe. They were slave traders in Benin. That's where Christopher Priest got his inspiration to do a female military class for that comic book. The Dora Milaje is based on the Dahomey tribe. So I know y'all love the Doras, but they have a bloody history. And Barracoon, you know, Cujo Lewis, who was the last living African slave who lived in this country, you know, he talks about what they did. He was a teenager when he was enslaved and brought over here. And so, you know, this thing is, we're all connected one way or another, Paul. We're all connected. So yeah. Moan says, I got a suite at Barnes & Noble. You know what? I mean, I don't know what bookstore did you go to, Paul, growing up?
Oh, it was Barnes and Noble, and what was the other one that they had back in the day?
Borders was my spot.
Borders, that was the other one. Borders
was my spot. Borders was literally what is the coffee shop?
Starbucks.
Starbucks. Basically, Borders was Starbucks and a bookstore. If you put a Starbucks and a bookstore in the same building,
Yeah,
that was Borders. That was my spot, bro. Man, I love Borders.
I was back when I was a broke young man. I used to use that as my date spot.
Hey, do what you got to do.
Because didn't have any money, and my concept was, look, you could learn a lot about a woman by taking her to a bookstore and see what she's interested in. And if you could have a conversation with her about what she's interested in and sit down, have a cup of coffee, and go around the store, pick out the books and sit down and talk about, why did you like that book? Why did you pick out that book? And you could have a great way to initiate a conversation and feel her out and figure out what her interests are and where her head's at. That was like my poor man's date back in the day.
Mm-hmm. So Fast Willie says, what's even worse, the Africans who transported to continue were captured by other Africans and then slow. Yeah. Well, that was the whole thing. That's one of the things about slavery that we don't really get into, that a lot of our people, our own people, were in this thing. It was commerce. You gotta understand, all of this stuff was commerce. It was about getting paid.
Jabari mentioned B. Dalton. That was another one. B. Dalton Booksellers. I remember that one.
But yeah, Borders was my spot, man. And I love, like I said, black book. Somebody brought up black bookstores. There were a few in Houston. There was one place called Nia Bookshop that was very, very precious. There were a couple of other ones. In Houston, the Shrine of the Black Madonna, apart from their church, has a bookstore attached. That's where, matter of fact, that at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, that's where I saw Dr. John Henry Clark. I went to. They had a African Holocaust conference at the Shrine of the Black Madonna in Houston, and this was like 90, 94, 95. It was one of his last lectures that he gave before he passed. But that's where I saw Dr. Clark. And big, huge bookstore, all kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, bookstores, man, ain't nothing like them. There's the library here, there's a library in Fort Worth, the downtown library in Fort Worth. This thing is huge, like 3-4 floors, big, huge building, all kind of stuff. I literally spent the whole day in that library, just going from shelf to shelf and sitting and reading some stuff, picking some stuff, and read magazines and all the periodicals. We don't even have periodicals anymore, but all the news stuff that we don't even get no more, you can still get them at the bookstore. At the library.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, listen, y'all, we got to go to work in the morning.
Yes, we do.
Please like this video if you haven't already. We don't ask for much. Just please like the video, and even more so, share the video on your social media. Just take a second, share. I don't care what platform. Share the video, like the video. That's how we make our channel grow, and that's how we make the channel successful. So really appreciate your help in that regard. It costs you nothing to do that. Just take a second and do that.
Absolutely. And to answer your question, Fast Willie, say, hey, Richard, you talking about the home Amazons? Yes, I am. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all go talk to Lupita Nyong'o. Ask her why she didn't do the Woman King. Because she went and talked to some people in Benign about what they were doing, and she said, nope, not me. But again, our history, I know we got to go, but our history, if you don't be a steward over your own history, because now, like Paul said earlier, they erasing it.
Yeah.
They erasing it. There's going to be a time when people, well, actually that time is now, people don't revere Martin Luther King like they used to. People are becoming very, very desensitized because that generation that marched with Malcolm, that marched with Martin, and actually was shoulder to shoulder with Malcolm, are dying or have died. And those of us that have come behind that, talking about the Black Panther Party, and you know, that generation, after the Black Panthers in the 70s, early 70s, whatever, what did you get? You got gangs.
Yeah. I hope the sanitization that they're doing won't affect YouTube anytime soon, because YouTube has a tremendous repository of knowledge. When you talked about John Henrik Clarke, for example, that's someone you can look up on YouTube and see his lectures and see his speeches and gain valuable knowledge. Speeches of Malcolm X are online. You know, Dr. Leonard Jeffrey is online. The Like It Is series from PBS from back in the day, online. Those are things that has our history in it, and it should be taught in schools, and it's free. It's free knowledge. And I worry about them realizing, damn, we can cancel PBS, but there's still this YouTube thing that has all this knowledge still on there. And they start cleaning that out.
Yep. I mean, you know, we again, Paul, it's gonna be our fault. We got to talk about it here. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it.
And we also need to back up our videos.
Yeah, absolutely. But yo, we gotta go. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank y'all. See y'all next time. Next week, we're going to be interviewing N. Stephen Harris, great comic creator. N. Stephen Harris next Wednesday. So please check us out, support that. And until next time,
yeah.
Derek, Rich,
and please do not allow the Ironheart trailer to spoil your week. We're gonna be all right.
We still got to try and support it because we'll be the only ones that will.
We out.
All right. Black Comic Lords. We got you.